The oldest scam on Earth didn't disappear. It didn't get banned. It didn't get exposed once and for all. It adapted, and today, it's not hiding in dark alleys or secret meetings. It's thriving in plain sight, inside your phone, inside comment sections, private groups, sponsored posts, and perfectly edited videos that look harmless, modern, and convincing. If you think scams are something primitive, something people fall for only because they're uninformed or desperate, that belief is exactly why this still works. Because this scam was never about technology. It was never about money. It was always about people. And before we get to how it spreads on social media today, you need to understand where it really began. Because the moment you see the pattern, you won't be able to unsee it again. And near the end of this video, I'll show you the one signal that appears right before almost every major scam collapses. The moment when people could still escape, but almost never do. Long before the internet, long before phones, banks, or even paper money, humans were already running the same trick on each other. The structure is ancient. Someone claims access to a rare opportunity. Something exclusive, something hidden, something most people don't understand. They promise safety, certainty, or reward, and they anchor that promise to trust. Not logic, trust. In ancient marketplaces, it was fake investments in trade routes. In medieval times, it was fake relics and miracle cures. In the early 1900s, it became financial. Charles Ponzi didn't invent the scam. He perfected the modern version of it. He realized something critical. You don't need to convince everyone. You only need to convince enough people to create visible proof. Once people see others getting paid, logic stops mattering. That single insight became the blueprint for scams that would survive for more than a century. Ponzi promised guaranteed returns using a system almost no one understood. International reply, coupons. The explanation was complex, boring, and just technical enough to sound legitimate. That wasn't a mistake. Confusion is useful. Confusion creates authority. If people feel unqualified to question something, they defer to the person who seems confident. And Ponzi delivered exactly what he promised at first. Early investors were paid on time. Money arrived. Stories spread. Trust multiplied. What people didn't realize was that there was no real business underneath. The returns came from new investors. Always. That's the oldest structure of all. Money in, money out. No value created. Just belief moving through the system. And belief is powerful enough to carry a lie much further than truth. When Ponzi collapsed, the damage was massive. But here's the part that matters. Dia didn't die with him. It evolved. Because the scam itself wasn't illegal behavior alone. It was a psychological machine. And machines can be rebuilt with new parts. Over the decades, the same structure reappeared in different forms. Fake investment clubs, multi-level schemes, exclusive funds, insider deals. The language changed, but the pattern stayed intact. And now, social media has given this ancient scam something it never had before. Scale, speed, and camouflage. On social platforms, the oldest scam doesn't announce itself as a scam. It arrives disguised as education, as community, as motivation, as financial freedom, as entrepreneurship. It speaks the language people already trust. It uses dashboards, testimonials, screenshots, short videos, and influencers who appear successful, confident, and relatable. The scam no longer feels like something external. It feels social, participatory, organic. And that's where it becomes dangerous. Because once a scam feels like a community, leaving it feels like betrayal. Doubting it feels like weakness. And questioning it feels like you're the problem. Here's what most people don't realize. The scam doesn't spread because of one mastermind at the top. It spreads because of the people inside it. Early participants receive rewards. Not because the system works, but because it needs them to. Those early rewards turn normal people into promoters. They share results. They defend the system. They invite friends and family. And when someone you trust shows you proof that something is working for them, your brain rewrites the question. It's no longer, is this real? It becomes, why am I not doing this yet? That mental shift is where skepticism dies. Social media accelerates this process in ways previous generations never experienced. Algorithms reward confidence, not caution. Certainty, not nuance. Video sali. This is guaranteed spreads faster than a warning, saying, be careful. Comment sections filled with success stories. Even fake ones look real enough to reinforce belief. And because platforms are flooded with information, people mistake repetition for truth. If they see the same promise everywhere, it starts to feel legitimate, familiar, normal, safe. That's how the oldest scam hides in plain sight, not by lying louder, but by blending in. And here's where the scam becomes self-sufficient. Once someone invests, they don't just invest money. They invest identity. Admitting the scam would mean admitting they were wrong, that they missed something obvious, that they put others at risk. Psychologically, that's unbearable. So instead, people rationalize. Delays become technical issues. Missing transparency becomes proprietary strategy. Criticism becomes jealousy. Warnings become negativity. The system teaches people how to protect it without ever explicitly telling them to. That's why, even when red flags appear, participation continues. Sometimes, even after withdrawals stop. Sometimes, even after authorities step in. Because belief doesn't collapse instantly, it decays slowly. Now here's the part most people never see. The oldest scam doesn't usually end with a dramatic explosion. It ends quietly. Communication slows. Promises are postponed. Optimism is recycled. Organizers buy time using hope. Hope that things will stabilize. Hope that new opportunities are coming. Hope that patience will be rewarded. And this creates the most powerful trap of all. Sunk cost. People stay because they've already stayed so long. Leaving would mean locking in the loss. Staying feels like keeping the possibility alive. And psychologically, possibility feels better than acceptance. But every version of this scam shares one unavoidable truth. It requires constant growth. New money, new participants, new belief. The moment growth slows, the structure starts to crack. Payments get harder. Pressure increases. The system becomes fragile. And this brings us to the signal I mentioned earlier. The moment that appears right before almost every collapse. It's not when returns stop. It's not when people complain. It's when withdrawals become discouraged. When staying is praised as loyalty. When leaving is framed as betrayal. When access becomes restricted for your own good. That's the moment the oldest scam reveals itself. Because real systems don't fear exits. Only illusions do. If this sounds familiar, it's because once you see the pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. Not just in obvious frauds, but in systems that demand belief before transparency. Community before proof. Loyalty before logic. The oldest scam on earth isn't thriving on social media because people are stupid. It's thriving because it understands human nature better than most people understand themselves. It knows that trust spreads faster than truth, that confidence feels safer than doubt, and that seeing others win is more persuasive than any explanation. Understanding this isn't about becoming cynical. It's about pattern recognition. About knowing that whenever you see guaranteed outcomes, exclusive access, pressure to stay, and rewards for recruiting, you're not looking at innovation. You're looking at history repeating itself. Quietly, efficiently, and usually legally enough to survive just a little longer. If you want to understand how these systems really operate, why they keep coming back, and how to recognize them before they recognize you, staying informed isn't optional. It's protection. And if this kind of deep dive helps you see the internet differently, subscribe to the channel, because the oldest scam on earth isn't going away. It's just waiting for its next upgrade.